garlic infused honey. Really good. Love it. Hello everyone, this is Jamerica from Jamerica Life. And I got a surprise for you. So I hear there are people getting, a little ill, a little under the weather. And there's something that you can do to cut it. Not guaranteed, it's just something that I do in order to fight off or not get sick. And it's honey infused garlic. See that? See how dark it turns? We're gonna make a small bottle of this. It's very easy, but you have to stay tuned in order to see how to do this. So today's video is on garlic infused honey or honey infused garlic, depending on, pick your pleasure, right? Let's get to it. All right, so we got it together, right? Garlic infused honey or honey infused garlic, depending on where you're from or how you want to say it. This thing is super easy. The best thing or the most important thing for this is time. It takes time. It takes time for this to ferment in all that sugar. You don't have to refrigerate it. Just stick it in a dark place. But we're going to go ahead and make it. So I need you to gather 3 things. A bottle, some garlic. And these are starting to sprout, so we'll use the ones that aren't sprouting. And some honey. Let's get to it. So I got my board out, and because I don't have a lot of space, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna focus in on the board and the ingredients. So you're gonna see my hands, okay? Don't worry about it, I'm still here. Let's go, let's go. All right, I was digging in the dirt yesterday, if you all watched my other video, and I have cuts on my hand or my cuticles. Started cracking. So I'm gonna put some gloves on today, which is unusual for me. Normally I don't. First thing we're gonna do is gonna take our garlic, right? Gonna get the clothes off. Get yourself a nice flat knife. Open your jar. And all we're gonna do is smash the garlic a little bit. And this is just so I can get the shell off, all right? And when you smash the garlic, it releases itself from the shell. And this is a million pieces of garlic, but here we go. It's growing a little bit, but I'm still gonna use it. It's still garlic. Don't matter to me, right? This is what I don't like about gloves. It's hard for me to operate in gloves because you can't grasp as much. So I got 1 piece of garlic out. Here's another one. I learned this during, the problem we had a couple of years ago where nobody could leave their house for a while. I learned this from, several channels. And believe it or not, there was a couple of times I felt like I was getting sick. And I did this, I took this, and I didn't take it a lot because garlic is a medicine, so is honey. You can't take it all the time. Just take this when you feel like you've been exposed to something and you feel like something is you feel like you're gonna get something. You can usually tell when your body's getting ready to fight out something. You have signs. Pay attention. Pay attention to your body. Don't just ignore it. Some people will wait till things get really bad in order for them to do something about it. What do they say? An ounce of preventative is more than a pound of cure. That's so true. So true, especially when you do not. I don't like being sick. I don't. So I tried, if I can stop it in its tracks, I got this one out. That's what I do. And all I'm doing is peeling the garlic, okay? That's all you do. Peel your garlic. Now, if you have something that looks like this, don't use it. But all the other ones that are like this, go ahead and use. All right? You don't want anything that's damaged like that because it might have a bacteria on it. And I'm just taking these off one by one. Clear that off. Clear all these extra shells off. Some of them I'm gonna smash in order to get the shells off, just so the shell can release. I'm just trying to infuse this. I eat the garlic, believe it or not. I do both. I use the garlic And I use the honey, the infused honey. So sometimes I eat the garlic. Sometimes I just take a spoonful of honey, garlic infused honey. They both do the same thing. They both complement each other, and I can't guarantee it, but it works. Some people might say it's a placebo, but okay. We got to do what we can to stay out of the doctor's office, right? Works for your kids too. And it's natural. It's not a pharmaceutical. It's before you have to go to the doctor. I go to the doctor if I get really sick, but I try to prevent myself from getting that way. And doing stuff like this is what helps. Doctors, sometimes you go to the doctor and some people in there sicker than you. You come out with more than you went in with. I don't like going in there. So I try to do things in order to make myself avoid that. All I'm doing is taking the shells off. That's all I'm doing. Taking the shell off. Let me break that off. Taking the shells off of these pieces of garlic and putting them in the bottle. It takes a little while to fill up the bottle, but time is on my side. I'd rather take 20, 30 minutes doing this, maybe more, depending on the bottle size, than to be sitting in the doctor's office waiting for them to say, next, Miss Jamaica to the back. I'm going back there talking to strangers, and I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with me or what you got. Using a book. Sometimes have you noticed that there's a lot of places, like these small clinics, they don't have a doctor in there, they got a nurse. You paying doctor's prices, but you ain't seeing a doctor. I noticed that. It's like, well, the doctor's not even in the building sometimes. A lot of times. Anyway. Who am I to judge, right? All I know is I don't want to go in there. Unless I have to. I do not want to go in there. So you get your little garlic out. This is not going to cost you. Copay, from what I remember, is what? Now it's about $30 if you have insurance. Shoot. Garlic don't cost $30. Honey, this and this does not equal $30. And then you got to, you have to think about the time, and then you exposing yourself, and this is a lot safer. Is getting a piece of garlic and some honey and throwing it in a cabinet, a dark cabinet, and that's it. There's other things that I've learned to do, and I'll start sharing those. Like my friends and I used to do immune boosters. That one wasn't no good. There's another thing we used to do, and I didn't get sick until I stopped doing it because I felt like, I didn't need to do it anymore. And then I got it for the first time. After everybody else had it, I got it. And I was going to the supermarket because I did not stock anything at that time. I didn't have anything. I was one of those people who had to wait in line for food. I must have PTSD. I know there's lots of us have PTSD behind that. Waiting in a line for food. I mean, long lines, and man, having that mask on. If you had a good mask, I remember I couldn't find a good mask. Man. The only good thing about it for me is that I have allergies. I didn't get my allergies didn't act up because I had a mask on. That's the only thing that was good about it. And I didn't feel like I was the only one wearing one because everybody had to wear one. They kicked people out of stores back then. Man, that was a strange time. Strange times, strange days. But we got through it, right? We all got through it. We're still here. That is the blessing in all of it. And we're wiser for it all. I know I learned a lot of things. I didn't know I do this before. I never thought about it. And I was like, you know what? I like fresh food, so I'm just going to keep enough for about, a week in my house. That was a mistake. Then I had to, is this one any good? Okay. Usually I use the rule, when in doubt, throw it out. What was I saying? Then I had to play catch up and learn things that some of the things I already knew. I just forgot about them because I felt like I didn't need to do it anymore. You know, my grandmother taught me a lot of stuff. A lot. And I was like, yeah. I don't need to know that no more. I don't need to drink ginger tea anymore. I never did really like it. So I stopped doing it. I had a friend who used to drink garlic water. I thought something was wrong with her, but she was right. Although they don't recommend you eat garlic all the time because garlic kills germs. And you know, just like if you take too much of any medicine, it becomes, your body reacts to it less. It's like being a drug addict. Your body, you have to do more in order to get, you know, the same effects. Same thing goes with this stuff. Don't use a lot of it. Use it when you need it. And we're filling up our jar. Slowly but surely. Things are getting easier with this glove. I must be getting accustomed to working with it because, shoot, Jamaica don't like gloves. Don't like it. Should have wore gloves yesterday. I wouldn't have dried out my hands as bad, but live and learn, live and learn. Can't go out there today. It's raining. So we're going to do this and some other things in the house. I did a lot of seed planting last night because I'm gonna try to garden throughout the whole winter. I live in zone 9A though, so it's not. It gets cold here, but it doesn't stay cold here. All right, I got almost a jar. Let me use this. Let me use this one. Just break the clothes off. And smash it and put it in the jar. That one's okay. This is an old piece of garlic because the skin is already coming off. Just like if you get old eggs, that's why if you boil fresh eggs, the egg, the white sticks to the shell. The older the egg is, the less it's gonna stick. Just saying. So that's how some people's eggs release easier when they boil them, because they're older eggs. It's the water content is less. Same thing with this garlic. The shell, the meat has pulled away from the shell because it's old, but it's still good. Still good. I can still use it for this. I can still use it for this and other things. I don't like wasting. I don't like wasting. And I used a jar already. Usually a jar like this will last me a year or more. That jar is, and I made a whole bunch of them. That jar was made about, I don't know, 3-4 years ago. That's how long they last. It's just like having medication, and I just stick it in the cabinet. It goes right up in here in a dark spot. Behind stuff. You don't want the light. You don't want the light to get to it. Light is what you want to avoid. Stick it up under your sink in a pantry you don't go in often. Don't forget about it, but keep it in there. Because you can't use, well, I wouldn't use this for about, I wouldn't start using it until about a month later. A month into it. Now, if you're really, really sick, go ahead and chop up a piece of garlic, mix it with some honey, and go ahead and hit it. But it's going to burn. The stuff that has fermented, it tastes like garlic candy. Your kids will eat it better than eat a piece of chopped up garlic and some honey. Because that is going to, and if you do the fresh kind, where you just chop up the garlic and put it in some honey, first of all, you better give them something to eat because it's going to burn their stomach. Or your stomach. So the stuff that I just put in the cabinet, you don't have to do it. You can do that on an empty stomach. Just get a tablespoon and scoop a piece of garlic and some honey out and just go ahead and swallow it or chew it. First of all, chew it if there's garlic in it. Chew it. It's not going to taste that bad. It tastes like honey. It's a mild garlic flavor with honey. Tastes good to me. Tastes good, but I'm used to it now. So Yep, so we got our garlic in here. I'm just gonna get as much as I can in here, right? Then I'm gonna get this honey, and you don't have to get the best honey. Get what you can afford. Some people are like, oh, that's not honey. Whatever. Get what you can afford. Get what you can afford. I have honey from all over. Some are more expensive. Some taste better. It's not expensive. Some honey tastes good. I'm telling you. It tastes better. I'm not going to use that one. It tastes better than some others. The expensive ones probably taste good. You know, you go and get one from a beekeeper, it's going to probably taste good. And they all taste different. Every last one of them. But I use whatever I could get to. This I bought. Wow. I bought this about 2 years ago. I need to use it. And I'm going to use it for something important like this. So that's another thing I keep on hand now. Now, after that happened, honey. Try to keep it on hand. Get all these shells off. I'm going to throw these in the garden. I'm not throwing them out. Smash that down. Just trying to get that shell off. All right. Okay, we got that in. It's so easy. You're going to be like, what? That's it? Yeah. Something that's going to stop you. And I heard people were getting pneumonia nowadays. I was like, what? Why? Yeah, cut that out. Okay, so we have our jar done, right? It's full of garlic. And I have my cap. This is a recycle bottle. Hold on to your bottles. Do not use plastic if you can avoid it. Now, this is in a plastic container. I can't do nothing about that. But you're going to infuse this, and you want to get it into, see a piece of skin in there. I don't want to choke on that later on. Get that out. You want to use glass, and preferably glass that you ain't got to pay for. You don't have to run to the Dollar Tree or to some other store and order glass. If you buy something and it has a glass jar in it, soak it, wash it, and use it again. So here's our honey, right? We got our garlic in there, right? And all we're gonna do is cover it with honey. Now you need to wait until the honey goes down into the jar, but you're going to keep on putting honey in here until you get the jar completely or all of the garlic submerged in honey. Patience is a virtue, right? You're going to see the bubbles coming up, right? It's going to go down because it's a liquid. It's a liquid. You just have to be patient. And the bubbles will come up. And they'll burst. Tap it. Get the bottom with a spoon, a debubbler of some sort. Because you want this stuff to be infused. You want honey everywhere. And you don't want to heat it. Don't heat it. Okay? You don't want to heat it. Go ahead and put some more in there. Get your spoon. I use the back of a spoon, and I'm going to debubble it again. Just like canning. Do the same thing with canning. Getting all of these air pockets out and filling them with honey. All of them. Nothing worth it is completely easy. I mean, I think it's easy. And the benefit outweighs the time spent making this. Put some more honey in there. Air is also your enemy. You don't want air in here. You want as much air out of this thing as possible. So try to get it out. Make sure I got all of the bottom filled with honey. No huge air pockets. Tamp it down. You can let it sit for a few minutes if you want. Get all your honey off. Get it all back in that bottle. Waste not, want none, right? I'm not going to stick this back in there. Let me go wash my hands. And then we're going to let it sit. Let some more of the bubbles come up, if there are any. And then we're going to cap it. I'll be right back. So we have it sitting here. And there's a piece of garlic that is still sticking up. So I'm going to smush it down. You want it all submerged. All of it. As much as possible. The sugar is going to stop this from going bad. Sugar is a preservative, believe it or not. So is honey. So here we are. Put our cap on, clean cap. And we're going to put this in a dark space. I recommend you wash it off because some of the honey got on here. But we'll put it in a dark space. And in a couple of months, in a couple of months, you can use it within 30 days. It's going to look like this. Ooh, garlic infused honey. Really good. Love it. This is Jamerica with Jamerica Life. I thank you guys for being with me. And I will see you on the next one. Put it in a dark space after you wash it off. Bye, y'all.